Hi everyone, Merch Hunter Ricky here, back with the first chapter review of Ace's story. I'm just gonna get right into it because this is a very good book. I want to start off the video first by saying, in my initial thoughts video, like 2 videos back, I kind of sound a little ignorant. I said that it sounds like a rushed translation of Japanese to English, and that is most certainly not the case. So I just kind of want to backtrack on that and apologize, especially if I offended someone and you actually came back to this video to see what else I had to say. Thanks for coming back, and I hope that I can keep you entertained. Now, let's get in. So Ace's story starts off with a prologue that I honestly can't tell whose point of view it's from, if it's from an unbiased narrator, Roger, or Rouge, but it's beautiful, honestly. If you get your hands on it, make sure to really soak in that prologue. It honestly kind of tells it in and of itself, it's just kind of poetic. And I honestly wish that I knew a lot more Japanese than what I currently know, so I could actually just look up the Japanese version of this story, because I bet there's maybe something lost in translation in a different way, like, you know, like all these number puns that we see in the One Piece theory videos, like featured in Ohara and Grand Line Review and whatnot. So anyways, beautiful prologue. I liked it a lot. So chapter 1 starts off right away with a different voice in your head as the narrator. You're not really like sure if it's actually Ace starting off the book. You don't know whose point of view it's going to be from. And to my pleasant surprise, the narrator ends a specific sentence about a couple pages into the book saying, "That is how I met Portgasty Ace." And I was immediately sucked into the book. The narrator at this point, up until meeting Ace, sounds a lot like a mix of Usopp and Brook. So we find out this mixture of Usopp and Brook is stuck on an island that is very hard to get off of. Like, just rotating currents around the island make it, like, once you're in, you're not getting out. It might as well just be a whirlpool island. Anyways, one of these days that he's on it, and the whole first couple pages, you get like a Kingdom Hearts 1 vibe, and for those of us who played that game and, you know, you felt that opening sequence for the first time, it's kind of like almost indicative of that this is going to be a washover of what we know and feel about Ace. It's not going to be the jerky child Ace that we met, and it's not going to be the endearing Ace that we saw in Marineford. This is going to be a completely different Ace. Anyways, so we meet this guy. He's talking about how he's stuck on the island, and he speaks in a very sophisticated tone, yet he is pretty cowardly too. So that's why I said Usopp and Brook, but I'm not going to continuously call him that. His name is Mass Deuce, but he actually doesn't give us his real name, and he actually doesn't even name himself Mass Deuce. So upon meeting Ace after a couple days on the island, he sees Ace on like a other bank of the beach trying to escape off the island on like a crappy dinghy boat, maybe like a sewn together raft. Sorry if you hear my kids in the background. They're with my wife and they're being crazy right now. Anyways, Ace is trying to get off the island. Terrible, unsuccessful attempts, and he's swimming back to shore, so we know he doesn't have his devil fruit yet. He meets Mass Deuce, and Mass Deuce comes off as a total jerk. And I mean, the entire time Ace is just like, "Hey friend, let's be friends and let's get off this island. Let's make a boat. Let's get off this island." And the whole time Mass Deuce is like, "Oh, well, I'm putting on airs and I'm going to be a little sophisticated because honestly, I don't really feel like mingling with you." And well, he at first kind of like looks at Ace like, "Oh, maybe you can help me get off this island." And Ace kind of looks at him and goes, in much like Garp and Luffy would, he's just like, "Oh, I'm stuck here too." And honestly, that cracked me up immediately. I thought that was a very funny little like shout out to the personality of that family. At one point, the narrator mentions the legend of Davy Jones, which I thought was pretty cool. It's a pirate cursed by the devil to live at the bottom of the sea even to this day. And they say anything that sinks beneath these waves belongs to him. And I don't know, I just thought I'd snip that in there because I bet we're going to hear about it later. And he's kind of like a little cocky, sarcastic coward because he's like, "You know what? Honestly, if I die and I see Davy Jones, I'm going to ask for my stuff back." Which I thought that was kind of funny, though. Since Ace is such a positive dude and he's so nice, it kind of throws the narrator for a loop. And the narrator starts to kind of warm up to Ace. So he's been there for 3 days, and then Ace kind of like, he's about to say something, and in the narrator's mind, the narrator's like, I'm going to tell this guy, I'm going to let him know I've been here for 3 days, and I've been downright suffering. And Ace just kind of smirks and goes, oh man, I've been here for 6. I win. And the narrator kind of just like, man, because he's very pompous. He's got natural trust issues, and we even go back further into his backstory. He starts to tell us how he is the son of a doctor, and his older brother is a very good doctor as well. And he's a well-educated man, but failed to become a doctor ultimately. So he's a disgrace to his family, constantly being told to don't embarrass me and just be useful. Don't suck too much for the family, please, because your brother's awesome, and we love him, and we don't love you. So, he's got a big chip on his shoulder, especially meeting someone as obviously secure. And, Ace was probably always, Chad and good looking. So this guy, especially if you've seen him on the cover, I'm not going to show him just yet. You can tell already he's going to be a weirdo. But, we weirdos have our quirks too. Anyways, so he's a little bit thrown off for a loop. Ace is too positive for him. And Ace asks his name, and the guy's like, I'm not giving you my name. Don't you see the mask? And, well, actually, no, I don't think he even mentions his mask. Sorry, my apologies. Pretend I didn't say that. Ace asks his name, and the guy starts to go on a rant about how he wants to use a pen name, so he might just give him a pen name instead. And then the narrator kind of starts being a jerk to Ace, and this goes on for a while, but it starts here. He starts being a jerk by going, you know what? I think I'm going to use the name Ace. I like that name. That's a good name. And Ace does not bang with that. Much like someone telling Luffy they want to be the Pirate King, Ace is like, don't use my name. I'm going to become a great man with that name. And the guy's like, whoa, it's just a pen name, pal. He gets, they kind of squabble for 2 seconds, but the whole time Ace is just smiling. And he's very nice about it. But he does start to, endear the man and go, you know what? Let's give you a name. I'm going to name you Deuce. And, while I'm at it, why do you wear that mask? To which Deuce starts to defend himself rapidly and say, hey, I'm not a pirate, okay? I don't want to be a pirate. I want to be an adventurer, and I don't want a bounty. So in case the Navy develops an interest in me and my adventures, I want to wear this mask. And, much like we see with Soga King, up until he becomes God Usopp, he wears the mask, and that's his definition of being hidden. So Ace, he's like, you know what? Instead of Deuce, we'll call you Mask Deuce. And at first, Mask Deuce doesn't like that at all. And he explains that he's got no friends and just bullies. And it's funny that his name would be Mask Deuce, considering that his parents are both, or his dad and brother are medical doctor. It's, MD, Mask Deuce, MD. Sorry. Anyways, he has no friends, and the people he thought were his friends just bullied him all the time. He was inspired by a book that he brings up from the very start of the story called Bragman, which is awesome because it's a collection of stories of explorers that maybe Nami might have even read in the beginning of One Piece, or explained to us that she's read that book too, because it even has a first-hand account of Little Garden. He and Ace, they keep conversing up until they reach the topic of family, at which point Ace kind of gets a little iffy about talking about his family. And then the amazing sarcastic jerk that is Mask Deuce just goes, hey man, it's not like your dad is the king of the pirates, right? And Ace is just like, yeah, he is. And Mask Deuce does what everyone else did and immediately just gets, mad at Ace for being born and judges him, goes, don't talk to me again. And they don't talk for a couple nights, maybe even a whole month, honestly. It seems like it's almost like a month that goes by before he talks to Ace again. But because of that split, Ace just ignores him, goes on. He even tries to be nice despite that jerk that is the Mask Deuce. And, he's like, let's make a boat still, bro. And Mask Deuce's like, don't talk to me again, I hate pirates. So he just dips. He endures many sleepless nights. They're cold nights, too. And all he's got is a jacket that he's wearing, like a big, long coat. And now that we know what his name is and what he looks like, that's him. So that's it. Like, he's bare-chested, maybe, but he's not doing good. Anyways, not only that, but he sucks at jungle living. And we know up to this point, Ace did not suck at jungle living. Anyways, one day he mentions that over the past few days he's seen Ace in passing. And since he's seen Ace in passing, Ace is just failing to get off the island. But he's using less resources and more notably not looking as crappy and gaunt as Masdeuce. So one day Masdeuce follows him to his jungle abode and he sees Ace holding up a strange looking fruit. And Ace is, like... And then right when he does that, Masdeuce kind of like lets out a gasp, like, bro, why do you have a stash of fruit? But he's like, at the side of the fruit. And he's holding like a walking stick and Ace just like snatches the stick and goes, nice stick, bro. I like this. This is a nice stick, man. You okay? You look terrible. And then they start talking about the fruit and about how, like Ace is like hoarding fruit from him. And he goes, no, this is the only fruit I got, bro. Want a bite? You can have it. Take a bite. Eat it. And then Masdeuce thinks back to how he judged Ace immediately, being a jerk about the being a jerk about the fact that he was the king of the pirates' son, and he immediately denies the fruit. So Ace takes the fruit, splits it in half, and goes, here you go, bro, and immediately takes the first bite. They both eat the fruit, and the whole time that Masdeuce is eating the fruit, he's like, this tastes terrible. This is so bad. And they kind of talk a little bit more. They become a little bit more friendly. Masdeuce realizes he's, in fact, the jerk for judging Ace so harshly. And they go look at the sunset, and Masdeuce is like, man, this night's not so cold. And he looks over at Ace, and oh my god, Ace is burning! He is literally eating the flame fruit. He cut it in half like this, and he took the first bite, and of course, what happened? It literally gave Ace the flame powers that we know. This would cement their friendship. Ace would explain the way devil fruits work. He has a cute little moment where he goes, yeah, my brother had a devil fruit his whole life, and it's the gum fruit, and he turned into a rubber man, and he goes, boing, and, they write that so well that you can just see it in your head. Ace, boing, it's so good. But since Ace is not that smart, but jungle smart, and Masdeuce is not jungle smart, but very smart, he comes up with a plan to train Ace and show him how to fire and use jet propulsion out of his fingertips. And the first thing Ace does is do a finger gun, ding ding ding, out into the ocean. He's clearly gonna be fine, So just to speed this up, he quickly makes a plan with Ace to actually make a real good boat. And what he knows about life, he knew that if you char wood in a certain way, it treats it in a way that it makes it resistant to seawater, wind, and storm. It's such a smart idea. It's such a good little mix of two people, just so two minds working together can achieve a greater goal. And you see that they make a boat, and sure enough, what do? They got Ace just like we saw him in Alabasta doing, you know what I mean? And just seeing that that's how Ace got off the island gives that opening scene in Alabasta of him flying on the boat, with the flames in the back, just gives it a lot more context. And who knows, what if that's the same boat? We never see Masdeuce in the show. So, yeah, and that's pretty much it for the Chapter 1 review, other than I did skip out on a point that I just wanted to bring back up. There's a thing where Ace and Masdeuce are about to get off the island, and they have a joint celebration where Ace is like, let's just eat all the food, we're gonna leave. And he's like, no, we gotta save that for our journey. However, let's exchange water cups. Just the exchange of sake, the act of Sakazuki, you know where I'm going with this. Sabo, Ace, Luffy. This is just awesome. Tune in tomorrow for my Chapter 2 review.